welcome back to the panel. I am here with Jordan, Andrew, and Pierce. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so this panel is all about basketball. So, of course, I have the basketball experts, NBA, college. You guys know a little bit about all of it. Let's start with college. Of course, spring is coming. That means March Madness is right around the corner. I want to know who you guys think are top contenders and possibly, I know it's a little early, but who you think could take it? Who wants to start?
All right, I'm really torn between two teams. Michigan State, very experienced team. Keith Appling, senior. Adrian Payne, senior. Tom Izzo has taken every senior class to a Final Four, so I think they're going back. And Gary Harris is the leader of that team, and I think the best player. It's 17.6 points per game, one of the best on-ball defenders in the country, averaging almost 3 steals a game. Then Kansas, best two freshmen in the nation, Joel Embiid and Andrew Wiggins. Embiid's almost averaging a double-double at 10 and 8. Wiggins, 16.6 rebounds. The guy cannot be stopped when he's trying. I'm really torn. It just depends on how the brackets fall.
I mean, I like your picks, Pierce. I think they're definitely people to look out for in March Madness. I'm going to add a couple names into. I think Florida's a team to look at. Billy Donovan's always experienced in the tournament, and they have 4 seniors, and they're buying into the Donovan way of playing basketball. Also, I see a team like Michigan kind of sneaking up, or in Arizona. And then I have a sleeper pick in San Diego State. I feel like they could turn some heads. Maybe not make it to the Final Four.
Kind of be like this year's FGCU?
Yeah, kind of be like this year's FGCU. But.
And what do you think?
Well, I agree with you guys. I like all the teams that you said. But somehow I see Syracuse taking it. They're in the driver's seat right now, so they look like they can do some damage.
Yeah, as long as they stay healthy. I mean, one thing that I like that you mentioned, Michigan State has veterans, and I mean, this is their last shot, so I think they look good. Kansas, Syracuse. It's still obviously very early to tell, but I mean, as long as they can stay away from injuries, we've seen what an injury can do to schools like Oklahoma State. So I really think staying injury-free is important. Does anyone else have a sleeper pick, maybe?
I do. You know where I'm going with this. North Carolina is back. They've won 5 in a row. James Michael McAdoo is finally turning into the prospect I hope he would have been 2 years ago. Last 5 games, 17 points, 8 rebounds. The team themselves averaging 78 points a game. They are playing Roy Williams basketball first time this season.
You think it's too late, though?
No.
Or you think it's just at the right time?
Right, just at the right time.
Call me when they beat Duke.
Yeah, I was going to say,
All
what do you guys think about that?
I mean, obviously, I think UNC is a team. Obviously, it's going to be a sleeper because they have such a rich tradition and they know how to play with Roy Williams.
Sleeper? They should be right up at the forefront.
They should be, but because of how the season's been, I mean, they lose to a team like a UAB and stuff like that.
But they've killed Michigan State by 14 on the road. They beat Louisville and scored over 90 points. And they beat Kentucky.
Yes, so they're playing just like our Owls, basically. Losing.
Yeah.
Unlike our Owls, are peaking at the right time.
But I just call me when they beat Duke at Cameron Indoor Stadium, and then we'll talk, in my opinion.
Okay, so we kind of got out the March Madness. Now let's move on to NBA. Okay, things are also slowly starting to pick up with that. Who do you guys think is looking? I mean, of course, I know we're going to have the whole Heat, Oklahoma City. But let's break it down East and West, okay? Who are I know you probably have a lot to say about this, especially with the East. Who are your top contenders for the East?
In the East, I definitely see the Heat, and I definitely see the Pacers. They'll probably be in the game right before the finals, as usual. They're both picking up where they left off. In the West, I'll go with the Spurs. Definitely is one of the top teams, and definitely OKC because I think they're a young team and they can probably do some damage as well there.
They have Kevin Durant, so that always helps. What do you guys think?
All right, in the East, there's no one within striking distance of Miami and Indiana. I think the Hawks are the 3 seed, but they're barely above 500.
Yeah.
And then in the West, I don't know. I think Father Time finally lost one. San Antonio. When will they get old? I want to know when they're going to get old.
Well, speaking of old, what about the Lakers? I mean,
I don't know.
what?
No. Kobe, just get out.
Yeah.
You're-
When
Should have been out.
when do you
Long time
guys
ago.
think? Do you think he retires after this year? Do you think he keeps going, tries to get some pieces in place to try to chase one more championship?
I don't see him retiring because he's that competitive, but I think he should. I mean, he's barely got into the season, started playing a couple games, and then re-injured. I think Father Time's caught up to him rather than.
And I think it's been caught. It has,
Yeah.
caught up to him and past him. This isn't something just this season we're
Mhm.
seeing.
Also about the Lakers, they have a lot of cap space this offseason. They're going to be in play for LeBron,
Yes, they
Carmelo.
are going to want LeBron.
Well,
They have money.
Okay,
So
but do they let go of Kobe?
no, they already signed him to a 2-year extension.
Okay.
I think
They
if
still had $30 million.
if one of those guys is willing to sharing the spotlight, that could be a good team and possibly go on a run if they get a Carmelo or LeBron. You know that's what they're going to be looking to do. It's just a matter of who they can get. Obviously, they have the money.
Yep.
But I do think that if Miami wins again, I do not think LeBron is going anywhere. If they don't win, maybe he does jump ship. What do you guys think?
Of the teams that have money, none of them are really in position to win right away.
Mm-hmm.
Chicago, Derrick Rose, his knees are almost fried. LA, who wants to go play with Kobe? And then other than that, Cleveland, they're a mess in themselves. Like
yeah.
they just fired their GM. They brought back Mike Brown, who they fired to keep LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that didn't work. They still have the same owner. He's terrible. He wants to be Jerry Jones. Yeah, it's a mess in Cleveland. He's not going back. I think he stays regardless.
Oh, no. And he's already said he's only going to warm places. So you can basically, Florida, California, Texas are probably the only 3 states he's even considering.
I mean, I don't see him leaving. I mean, he's just with what happened to him in Cleveland, the decision thing, and then how it turned him to a villain essentially for Cleveland. He knows, okay, if I'm going to leave, I'm going to have to do it a lot better, but I just don't see him leaving. I mean, the Heat give him the best chance to win the championship. I mean, you still have Chris Bosh, who I think is a very underrated player that doesn't get that much love. And then even though Wade is getting up there in age, he still is able to give you 15 points a game, it seems like, and all they need is him to be healthy for the playoffs, like Pierce and Jordan have been saying. So I just feel like if he were to leave Miami, first of all, the fans that he's added will start hating him like they did in Cleveland.
If he leaves Miami and goes to the West Coast, the whole East Coast is just going to hate him.
Yeah.
Between the Cleveland fans, the Miami fans. But you think people learn, but look what Dwight Howard did. I mean, sometimes sometimes they just don't care. But real quick, let's go through and say who do you think will be in the finals and who will win, starting with Pierce.
All right. Heat, Warriors, Heat.
I'm going to go Heat, Trailblazers with the Heat.
Oh, okay. What do you think?
I go for the repeat. Heat, Spurs.
Okay.
Heat.
I'm going to stick with you on that one. If the Spurs can remain healthy and if they don't start realizing how old they actually are. But we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
At the Winter Olympic standings thus far.
So the USA has racked up 9 medals so far, which is just behind Norway, who leads the pack with 12. Canada and the Netherlands are tied with 10. Watch out, Canada.
Still a lot left to be earned. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next week.